There's loads of videos on going talk to your agents like this, but actually what matters the most is even if you make that 5-10 phone calls or emails, you must log them into a system. What you're doing is you're creating a solid format in your workflow. And trust me guys, I am telling you today that as much as it looks like you're doing an extra work, what you're doing is you're building a database of flow that you can manage in a couple of weeks' time in a much more thorough basis, so you're not wasting your time. In my last video, we set up Trello as a system. So again, if you're watching this video out of nowhere and it just popped up into your screen, we've actually done a full series video. This is the second one. The first one, I set up a system. So it might be worth going and watching that first, because then you can set up the system and actually then learn this. But if you're going to watch this first and then do the other way around, absolutely do so as well. So the idea here is we're going to draft an email now. So I'm going to share you my screen, and I want to make sure there are 5 things that you put in those email that you're going to send to introduction or offer. So either way, if you're engaging with a new landlord or a letting agent, you can kind of change certain places. But also if you're sending an offer email, this is pretty much what you want to do. So without further ado, let's go into the screen. Hey, so as you can see from my screen, I'm about to start the offer email, and this is how it should really look like. And obviously feel free to change it a little bit as well. But hey, I'm interested in understanding a bit more about this property you have in, and always make sure you put the address in, right? Because what you're doing is you're only approaching with that first property that you've seen it in Rightmove, Zoopla, OpenRent, Facebook, wherever that is. Now, once you've got that information, I think, I always say to anyone I work with is it's literally worth telling your offer, right? So if you feel like this is just an introduction offer, then you might have to a little bit change the way you're happy to give them the full asking price or whatever that is. It's an offer email, then it might be worth you just saying it's $12.50 per month. We are happy to offer a full asking price. So you've got kind of the main part sorted, right? So they're now more engaged because they know that you're offering the full asking price. You can now, what I said was we want to protect. This email here is literally to protect you from anything happens. In 6 months' time, an agent turns around and says, actually, and we've heard horror stories about this, where people's gone, actually, you know what, landlords decided that and you can go back to this very first email that you send. So the idea behind this process is, I am looking to start a short-term rental business, and this property is a perfect fit for us. Just wanted to confirm, would the landlord be open to company let for service accommodation? Now, I'm going to be absolutely honest. A lot of people say, oh, don't use the word short-term rental and blah, blah. I'm like, look, you have to, because actually this is why we're talking about protecting your business. If somebody reads this and says, I am looking to start, and you haven't got a deal yet, and this is your first property, everyone goes to me, oh, Piers, I haven't got a property. Are they going to trust me? You've literally said here, I'm looking to start a short-term rental business. So you're absolutely open about your approach. And this property is a perfect fit for us. And just want to confirm, would the landlord be open to the company let for service accommodation? Now, what you're doing here is you're speaking their language, the letting agent's language, and you're also telling them twice already on your email what you're doing. So you're protecting yourself. Remember, at the end of the day, you can send 10 of this and you only need one agent to say yes to you anyway. So all of a sudden you've mitigated a huge risk of spending time on phone call trying to educate someone about this. Secondly, we said about educating the landlord and the agent. Education about what we're offering, but how we're doing it is we're doing it as a company let for service accommodation. So again, you're educating your end user. Now, in this case, we offer sensitive short-term rental stays for leisure, corporate, business travelers, contractors, agency housing. You can see like what all I'm doing here now is I'm also educating what you're offering to somebody else. And due to a high demand of properties like this, we are now actively looking to grow around, and you can then put the location. I am extremely interested to work with you in this project. Now look, I'm just free flowing. I'm just giving you what needs to happen. So now you're educating what you're offering. So when people go, oh, what do you do? Is it company let for your staff? You've literally said what you're offering and you've given them. Now, in this case, obviously you don't have to mention you're going to advert in Airbnb-booking.com, but at least you've really said what you're offering, the type of guest behavior that's potentially going to come and stay with you. It will make more sense. However, now again, we're protecting ourselves, we're educating the landlord and the letting agent, and now we want to confirm a couple of things. Now, to confirm, would you consider this property for would rather than you, would landlord be open to, let's say, a 3 years agreement terms with a, now you can talk about break clause now, right? Now 6 months, you can really get to understand us as a tenant. Now look, all you're doing here is you're confirming, right? Would the landlord be open to 3 years agreement terms with a break clause of 6 months? Now, what you're doing here is you're also allowing yourself to be in a position where if the deal doesn't work, you're safe because you've got a 6 months break clause, and in your case, you've also explained them, you can really get to understand us as a tenant. So, you know, they're not taking a massive risk, but I would like to say this will also give them an opportunity to build trust with you, also to say, actually, let's give them a try. They've got 6 months to prove, make sure they're obviously paying rent on time and all that kind of stuff, looking after the property and blah blah blah. So you're confirming something here. And also, I always say is we prefer to do a company agreement, but want to also make sure there is a couple of things in your agreement which won't fit our use of property as a short-term rental. Would you be open to visit this I would just pay, would it be okay to revisit some clause at that time? Now again, what we're doing here, you can see here, we've confirmed and we're telling them that we do prefer to do company-led agreement, but also want to make sure there's a couple of things in your agreement which won't fit out. And 100%, like, look, I have seen many people in the UK till date signing a company-led agreement without reviewing the clause. Now, if you're watching this video and you've done it, guys, look, it is a serious problem. That company-led agreement doesn't fit for service accommodation or short-term rental. So you've got to make sure that you've confirmed that. Again, you know, by the way, I am giving all the information. There's certain things you can reword it, you can change it, but it's about how you deliver that information. So now, look, what we've done is we're creating the system. We're educating that person. We're protecting ourselves with the offer email and what we want to do. You can even here ask some questions about the property. So the property, so maybe even ask a couple of 1, 2, and 3 questions, and then put our offer, and then obviously a little bit about what you guys are doing. You can put your brand name, whatever that is, and then you're confirming something, right? But also, if you really want to make sure that you are fully protected and you're not wasting time, there's so many people who don't do this. Would the management block management lease allow shortlets in this? Cool, pretty simple with the block management lease allow shortlets again, and also a quick check on mortgage at a later date would be great. Cool. So again, guys, being honest, in the UK right now, 90% of the deals are not checked on mortgages. If somebody's got a buy-to-let mortgage and hasn't got a consent from landlord, effectively you are absolutely doing a wrong deal. You are obviously safeguarding yourself by doing this, but if there's many people I know who don't actually check landlords' mortgages, and it's a big error when you're actually taking on units. So I hope this video helps. And then it's like, look, I would like to urgently view this property with you, and also a couple of other opportunities I hope with this email we've shown our professional approach to what we want to do, and also to work with you alongside on many other properties to you to have a great successful tenants. And then, you know, guys, look, you can talk about professional cleanings, all that kind of stuff, how well you're going to look after the property. But you can see here, guys, this is pretty much how you want to write the email. Hey, now I hope you enjoyed this video on protecting yourself. Obviously the offers, the information that I've shared with you, which is ideally what you want to do in the most efficient way, be it an introduction email or an offer email. But yeah, so I've got two more videos actually coming out, which is going to be a little bit around why I think you can now just find a deal online and then send this offer email that we've just drafted to the letting agent or the landlord that you're going to find online, which I'm really excited about. Now, I think I did mention on this video that this was going to come out on 1st of Jan, but it's probably not. I think it's going to be in between this and the other video. But guys, I'm really excited to share this process of really securing a unit, a service accommodation rent-to-rent unit, without worrying having to pick up the phone calls all the time. And yeah, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe and share, and I'll be back with another video soon.